Okay. Hi, Laura. Thank you for this. I was wondering if you could answer this one question, please. Do you see what I can do creatively in 2021 that will bring me abundance? Do you see what I can do creatively in 2000? Okay. Maybe, Jennifer, I should, put you in the chat real quick to, and I know this only does the first name of people, but I could give you a quick card reading if you like. And I'm just allowing you to talk, and hopefully this is the right Jennifer. Jennifer?
Hi, Laura.
Hey, you're the right Jennifer, right?
I'm Jennifer Ritzkowski.
Oh, hey, and I know you.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you? Thank
Good.
you.
Yeah, if you want, I can just pull some cards on that if you like.
Okay. Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being here. Okay, so go ahead and just say your full name, including middle name.
Jennifer Ann Ritzkowski.
Okay, well, I'm kind of seeing energetically already, but let's see what the cards have to say. I'm seeing a lot with like plants and crystals. Okay, so you got the moon, just like the one before. It's a little bit tilted, and it's a circle deck. So when something's tilted, it means the energy is just mildly, I don't want to necessarily say blocked, but where sometimes your intuition, I don't know, it can almost be overwhelming how much you are capable of feeling and sensing. And there's a lot of breakthroughs, though, connected to this question. You got the Tower card at the root. The Tower card is all about, out with the old structures and in with the new ones. And it kind of acts like the wrecking ball. It's very much connected to the planet Uranus, I would say. It's kind of like it allows for a big leap and a big sort of growth. And the reason it sort of has a negative connotation for people is because it sometimes can feel very shocking, like a shocking event takes place. But, shocking events sometimes need to take place for us to upgrade or for us to awaken or for us to have a breakthrough. Because most of the time, it's to help us to evolve and detach from things that don't serve us. But sometimes we hold on to dear life. It's like a person that's not able to let go of a bad or toxic relationship might not like the Tower card when it shows up. But for a person who's riding the waves of change and is connected to the higher mind and the flashes of insight that come through, there might be a significant event that takes place that is totally inspiring, that really just is like, yes, that's it. So it looks like it's going to be about breakthrough, and it's going to bring in a sense of balance. So it looks like it's going to be a very positive breakthrough. But there are three, the Devil card, which is somewhat upside down, is showing up. And okay, so to kind of get back to your question, and then it's about finding a goal so that your creative energy doesn't get hooked into like this control system and all the different tactics it's using. So it's a really good question, because when we can engage our creative energy in something other than it being like hooked into what's going on in the outer world, where it's trying to capture our minds and put us in fear and anxiety, and it looks like your creative energy would do well just connecting with the earth. Like I said, I had this vision of you standing by this window with a bunch of like house plants and like crystals, like in these different, house plants, and just like working with essential oils and just all these sort of things that like constantly give you a high vibration to like connect with, and something that is really fun and creative that you can make super beautiful. So it's not just you're getting an activation, you're pulling out your creative side. So that artist in you, and that like a kind of like a designer flair that you might have, and the artist in you can just engage with like these high vibrational energies. And so not only are you being creative, it's giving you medicine and activation and alignment. And it sounds like such a good idea. I think I'm going to do it. But like, yeah, so you could just, I don't know, if you have a big window, or and as spring comes, is something especially, maybe outside when it comes to like flowers or herbs, just to really, engage with, earth energies and earth frequencies. And as we know, every flower and every plant has a particular hertz or frequency, rose frequency being the highest. There might be something that you do with that, or herbs, or crystals that you could just get really creative with. I don't know, that's kind of coming through. And it's really important because, and the person I read before got this card also, and I'm seeing it show up a lot lately, where a person's really struggling with that devil energy. And I know that sounds like a really kind of gnarly archetype because it's the word devil, but it's really what it represents is power. So the misuse of power is what makes it evil. But power in general isn't evil if we're able to use it correctly. So we have to harness, certain primal powers within ourselves, so when somebody makes us mad, we don't just punch them in the face. We have to have discernment how we use our power, because it could be used for the dark, but you, like others I've been seeing, are harnessing that power for the good. As we're facing the stuff in the outer world that is overthrowing the dark Saturn, which basically is the devil, right? So the dark Saturn is like the devil archetype. As we heal and overcome the dark Saturn and we're in the higher Saturn, it's more about self-mastery and becoming a teacher. So that archetype is really helpful in giving us the challenges we need to overcome the trials and tribulations of our life to gain ultimate strength. And so it's just saying, if you engage in something creative that has a medicinal quality to it, but is also, pulls out your artistry, it'll bring you a lot of happiness and joy.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Laura.
Oh, you're welcome. Great to see you. Oh, you're not on camera, but awesome to connect with you again. I know we've been connected for quite some time, so awesome. And I'm not sure how to get you off the screen. I think I just go.
I don't know how to get on so you can see my face.
Well, it's okay because if it says, okay, disable talking. All right, that should do it. All right, so let's go to more questions. Do you expect the world to be that much different after December 21st? Or will it be more continued progression of increased consciousness? I kind of see it more as a continued progression, because that's kind of been what it's been, I mean, there's always going to be some kind of event though that creates movement or change, for better or worse, depends on the person. So I know this virus created a lot of awakening, but it also pulled people into more fear and as kind of having the opposite effect. So it really depends on the quality of connection a person has with their with spirit, with their intuition, with their soul, with their higher self, with all those important things. So for some people, there could be radical shifts. I mean, when a person awakens, it's sometimes it can be gradual, but for some people, it's that one event that they see that finally proves something to them. So it really, really depends. And that's why, everybody's different. Everybody's got a different chart, many, many different avenues to get to the same goal. Different ways we experience the storyline of our lives in order to reach the same kind of goal, which is to be empowered and connected and upgrading and living a life where we can manifest our freedoms and creative visions. And I would say that that's kind of what we'd all like to see, and that we're abundant and we're healthy and we've got love in our lives. So events that take place on an organic level are there to assist us in moving into that. All our life experiences coming from our soul sort of journey is to give us what we need to advance, to progress, to evolve, to thrive, and to tap into, all that we are. So the inversion of all this, the dark agendas, will always try and make that very, very difficult. And that challenge is what gives us, the strength that we need to not repeat this again. So it's we're going to go to a whole other level where it's going to be very, very difficult to fool any of us ever again, because we've almost gone through the worst of the worst. I mean, it can't get much worse than what we've gone through as humans, as far as all the world wars, all the trauma and the deeper layers of it, child trafficking and pedophilia and the child trafficking rings. I mean, and just abductions and just all these horrors. It literally can't get worse. So the consciousness of humanity is going to be beyond anything I can really describe. And that's why we're considered such a prize, but we just don't know it. So that's been the ultimate conspiracy, is not teaching us like who we really are and what we're made of. The indoctrination in the school systems have been very much about dumbing us down. The sciences haven't even been real or complete. And that's why we've accepted that we have junk DNA when this is what we're, switching back on. So all the events taking place are here to help upgrade us. And I think there's going to be positive things that take place around December 21st and afterwards that really give us a feeling of hope and levity and lightness, like, that we'll all experience. And it'll be an event that we see, maybe hear about in the news, while also we'll be going through energetic upgrades because of this shift into Aquarius, which is all about the Uranus energy, which is an electrical energy, and it stimulates the nervous system and the DNA. So because there's going to be sabotaging influences, though, and some people aren't going to be ready for it, or they're going to resist their own awakening because they're just still too programmed, it could get really, really bumpy for them. And the dark narratives that are still being steered, they're going to be fighting for and supporting, there's people that are cheering on their own enslavement, and they think that it's not the case. The ones that snicker at you for not wearing a mask. And I'm not saying, because I know everybody's got their different opinion. There's no judgment. Everybody's got their comfort level, but you know what I mean, to more of an extreme. So it really, really depends. It's going to depend on the location that you live. It's going to depend on the people around you, the people you surround yourself with. But as far as the world stage level, I think we're in for some really, really good news. But there's also, for everything of good news, there's going to be a counterattack. Just like for every attack, there's a countermeasure being implemented in order to mitigate the damages that the dark players, want to create. So it's going to be pretty rough in that respect, as far as the showdown of forces. But if we start to see these arrests, if these dark cabal individuals can go into the FEMA camps that they've created, then we're in good shape, right? But there has to be an acceleration of putting these people where they belong. And so that's what I'm hoping to see. So yes, it could go different, but the thing is, we're co-creating this reality. So we need to allow ourselves to hold the most positive visions of what could unfold, instead of, there's endless possibilities. But what are we choosing to align with? What is our intent as creative beings? So it's really important to visualize and write it down and just really anchor it and ground it, because the sun's moving into Capricorn while Jupiter, Saturn move into Aquarius. Capricorn's an earth energy ruled by Saturn. So it has to do with structure. We're upgrading the structure. So we want to make sure that we're holding a strong foundation and intent, so that our creative energy can begin to reveal that potential that we've chosen on a frequency level to align with. And that would be, a mass awakening, therapeutics that are healthy, and criminals being put where they belong so that they don't make rules anymore. And I can only hold that as being true for what I'm seeing coming in front of us, while also accepting the fact that it's going to be a bit bumpy. But that's where I choose to kind of align myself. So yeah, continued progression or increased consciousness. Yeah, there could be a big event, that accelerates things pretty damn quick, because Aquarius is such a high vibration, that it's going to open up something and facilitate an opening of something, consciousness, awakeness. So does an event need to take place in order for that to be the result? Well, if an event does need to take place, it will. But if it can be something that people are just able to align with and integrate, an outer event won't be as necessary. Mostly outer events happen in order to create a change within us if we're not doing enough of the inner work. That's kind of how I see it. So it kind of depends, it's sort of like a weather forecast. It's like, when one thinks of what might happen. So it depends on the climate of the collective consciousness as these alignments come in. And of course, how we experience it individually is going to be different across the board. So I don't see a lot of people address elite gender inversion, that most of these people on the world stage are transgender from birth. I just can't get over it. And I wonder what you make of it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of that, like, Bill Gates is a woman and Melinda is a man. Melinda definitely looked like a man. I talked to Derek, the one who has 200 altars that was raised in these kind of families. And he did say that that exists. I don't know if it's like every single person. I definitely should bring it up to him again. And like, as we see Michelle Obama, and the whole Michael thing and the gender confusion that they're trying to put in the school systems to indoctrinate children with, which is, that's the disturbing part. So it's, I don't really know what to say about it. I just say, yeah, it does exist. And it's incredibly disturbing. And they want to pervert and invert everything that's natural. And that's just their mechanism. And it's a targeting also on the people that legitimately are struggling with this, that are just coming into this human experience like that, which makes it hard to talk about, because it makes it a very sensitive subject. Like, and this is part of the problem. It's like, you can't say certain things without somebody being like, oh, you're racist or you're homophobic or you don't support transgender. It's like, we're trying to address the tactics of the deep state. That's very, very different. It's a completely different kind of conversation. So these are just very, very sensitive topics and not so easy to talk about. But I will look into that more though, as far as, specific questions, to get some more clarity about it. And that's why I hope you guys will join the Cosmic Gaia subscription, because, it gives us a chance to meet every week. I answer questions, I do mini readings, I got cool guests on, and it's like 4 events a month and it's $15 a month. And you can do that on my website if you're interested. And I send out newsletters with astro information.